specializing in a range of legal services, including family law, matrimonial law, immigration, dispute resolution, Ghanaian customary and family law. At BWF, our solicitors are pleased to offer high-quality legal representation at competitive rates. Our senior partner, Bernardo Wusu, has over 29 years' experience as a lawyer in the UK. BWF Solicitors provide independent and practical legal assistance for all kinds of family matters, such as childcare, contested and uncontested divorce, and injunctions for domestic violence. Our child care and family team appreciate the issues facing you in this difficult time, which is why we offer confidential advice delivered in a sensitive manner. Our senior partner is an accredited member of the Law Society Family Law Accreditation Panel, which guarantees expert representation in all family and matrimonial cases. Are you seeking advice on immigration-related matters? At BWF Solicitors, our immigration team are experts in dealing with everything from general immigration to complex immigration work permits, arranging student visas, as well as entry clearance visas, family visas, and appeals. Our senior partner is an accredited member of the Law Society Immigration Accreditation Panel, which guarantees expert representation. Our office is open from 9:30 a.m. to 6 p.m., Monday to Friday, and on Saturdays by appointment only from 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. We are located at 4th floor Anna House, 214 to 218 Tottenham High Road, London, N15 4NP, just a short walk from Seven Sisters Underground. Our senior partner, Bernardo Wusu, is also a qualified barrister and a member of the Ghana Bar Association. He has acted as an expert in court cases involving aspects of Ghanaian law. He has also advised local authorities, the official solicitor's office, and other solicitors on the intricacies of Ghanaian law, and is a regular contributor on the radio and TV on matters concerning Ghanaian law. Cash buys for quick sales, stock repossession, and mortgage arrears. For all your property needs, look no further. Visit us at www.victonestates.co.uk or call us on 07448619711. Victon Estates, your property is our pride. Hello, everyone. You're welcome to Heritage TV, ranking now the BWF Solicitors. Wherever you are, it's good morning, good afternoon, good evening. I'm so privileged to come your way today. And as usual, we have our seasoned solicitor who will be taking us through our topic for today. I would quickly like to acknowledge our sponsors, who are BWF Solicitors, specialists in immigration and nationality, family law, dispute resolution, and Ghana law and practice. We have one of the partners at BWF Solicitors with us, and she will be taking us through today's topic, which is adult dependent relatives considering serious illness when applying for your relative to join you in the UK. Now, you might ask yourself so many questions on this topic, such as who is an adult dependent relative and what the requirements are to make such an application. And you might also be asking, can it be any illness at all, or there are specific illness that can be considered in the application? These and many more will be discussed today with lawyer Eunice Achampo. Hello, lawyer Eunice.
Hi, Vicky. How are you?
How are you? I'm good, and you?
I'm fine, thank you. By God's grace. I hope your week has been good as well.
Good. Yeah, it's been good, and I've been, looking forward to today.
That's
As
good.
usual, before we come up the program, I do, tell people about this program on all our social media handles, and people get so excited, asking so many questions. So I believe that today we'll get people contributing and asking questions about today's topic. Before you introduce yourself, even though I've done that, let me remind viewers that if you want to contribute to the program, you can do so on our Facebook Live at Heritage TV or BWF Solicitors Facebook page, or you can also call us live on the program on 0744 8619 711. The number again is 0744 8619 711. Yes, over to you, Laura Eunice.
Oh, yes. So, in terms of updates, I know that every week, as we usually do, we have to have a little bit of updates in terms of our immigration law per se. And I know that, of course, we've been saying this for the past 2 weeks, and I think I would reiterate it again. And we should also keep an eye on this as well. If you know of any person who is an EU national or a family member of an EU national or was able to retain their rights as a family member of an EU national or even had derivative rights or they currently have derivative rights to remain in the UK, please, of course, from the 1st of October, the UK government have said that it is important that EU nationals who will be traveling into the UK travel only with their passports. And so it's important that even if they have national identification cards, that will no longer be valid for travel. So they would need their passports in order to travel into the UK. And of course, if you're an EU family member and you've applied under the EU settlement scheme, for either pre-settled or you've applied for settled status to remain in the UK, of course, that will be valid if you have your national passport. And of course, we all know that because of Brexit, if you are coming into the UK and you want to come and stay as an EU national or an EU national family member, you would definitely need to make the right application to be able to come and remain here as a worker or as a student or under whichever route you specifically want to come under. It will no longer be permissible like before, where there was free movement for EU nationals to come into the UK just with your passport and just say that you are coming to stay in the UK. You will need to make the valid application before entering the UK. And of course, if you are a family member and you are coming on a visit, so if you are an EU national or you're an EU national family member and you're coming on a visit, of course, the family member who does not have an EU national passport should be able to have the required visa, which is a visit visa, to come and remain here on a visit and then obviously return back to their country once the visit is over. For EU nationals, of course, you would not need a visit visa. You can come with your passport and you are allowed a period of 6 months to come on a visit and then you return to your country of origin. And so it's not necessary that you should have a visa in your passport when coming into the UK as an EU national. And then, of course, I know that people are still asking about this transit visa and whether people would need it. Of course, if you're coming into the UK and your flight is telling you that we will make a transit into the UK before we get to our final destination. If you are not on the UK's list of visa nationals, then of course you wouldn't need a visa to be able to enter the UK if you're going through on transit. But of course, if you are not sure, it is always best to speak with your airline, because your airline will have the information in terms of which country nationals should have a visa before entering into the UK. And the same applies to most EU countries as well. And so if you are a third country national, you're not a British citizen, you have a Ghanaian passport, a Nigerian passport, a Zimbabwean passport, and you are traveling on a transit flight into any EU country to any destination, then of course you will need to find out from the airline whether you will need a transit visa to be able to travel through that country before you get to your final destinations. And it's important that we also keep an eye on these things, because things are not the same, or things are not the way they used to be before. So it's always best to get the information you need before making any travel arrangements. As they say, we still have COVID restrictions in place, and there are all these other rules in terms of testing and whether you've had your jab and the rest of it, which I will not go into. So, just to remind our viewers and those listening to us that it's important that we keep an eye on these things. And of course, EU applications for settlement scheme are still ongoing. Yes, the deadline of 30th of June 2021 has passed, but if you have not put in your EU settlement scheme as an EU national or a family member of an EU national, whether it's a spouse or a child or a dependent relative who has EA family permit or who has a residence card, you can still put in an application under the EU settlement scheme, as well as putting in a valid reason or reasonable reason why you didn't make the application before the 30th of June 2021. So, of course, these applications are still ongoing. You can still make them for yourself, for your family members, so that at least you will be able to do the things that you used to do. I think the UK government has given us that flexibility now to make sure that as many people make these applications as possible, because we don't want a situation where people will not be able to travel in and out of the UK because they haven't done the EU settlement scheme. And they definitely don't want the situation where people will not have that freedom to work and stay here in the UK just because they haven't done the EU settlement scheme. So we are grateful to the UK government for allowing that flexibility, so that a lot more people who have not been able to do it can now do those applications. Yeah, so I'll just leave it there for the updates, and then we can continue with the program.
Okay. All right. Lawyer Eunice, when you were, talking about the updates, the mention of Brexit just, just, made me feel like asking you this question. There has been fuel shortage since yesterday. People are queuing, and they're attributing that to shortage of HGV drivers.
Yes.
Now, do you think the Brexit is the cause of this shortage of drivers? If this is just something that came along.
I know. I know that a lot of these drivers are drivers that come from the EU. I have a friend, and she's German, and her dad is one of these truck drivers. And of course, he doesn't have a British passport. He doesn't live in Britain, so he hasn't got any leave or residence card whatsoever. And so for him, it's like, well, I can do my jobs elsewhere, so why do I have to come to the UK? And of course, if a lot of these drivers were EU nationals who were able to freely come into the UK, and they are no longer able to come because of the fact that if they are coming for work purposes, they would need a visa, then why would they? But of course, these are things that we can easily get in Britain. I mean, look at our population of over 60 million people. If we are saying that we can't recruit from our own country as well, then that's something else. I think that
no, you just interest.
Sorry.
It's the interest.
It's the interest. You know, it's good that now we can see clearly that the shortfall was not, should I say, well thought of before this issue arose. Because, of course, if we were looking at the shortfall of how it would affect our petroleum here in the UK, we would have quickly made some advertisements and the rest of it to try and get drivers here from the UK even before this whole issue arose. But it goes to show that even government officials are not always quick in being proactive about these things. And so we just have to now see how best to sort the situation out, which is now trying to get as many HGV drivers into the system as possible. And we'll see how that goes as well. Yeah.
So you don't think probably they would try to, put up an incentive to attract them to, purposely come and help out with the shortages?
I think that, well, there are some, should I say, visas in terms of like seasonal workers and temporary workers. Those kind of visas are already in place. But of course, like I said, it depends on whether the driver is thinking, well, I have more jobs elsewhere than in the UK, so I would rather take my business elsewhere. And so, of course, you have to look at it from all those different angles. And I'm sure there are so many other factors that come into play when it comes to things like this. And so we'll see what the government comes up with.
Wonderful. Thanks for the assurance, Laura Eunice. Now, straight to our topic today. One question that came on my mind straight away when I looked at the topic. Even though I know who an adult dependent is, for the benefit of someone watching, who is an adult dependent?
Okay, so when we say an adult dependent, strictly on the basis of our immigration rules, not in the general terms, because of course, if we're talking in general terms, then an adult will be anybody who is a family member over the age of 18. But strictly in regards to our immigration rules, when you look specifically at Appendix FM, when it talks about an adult dependent relative, it's regarding a family member who is either a child over the age of 18 or a brother or a sister who is over the age of 18 or a parent or grandparent who is obviously over the age of 18. So these are the categories of people who are considered to be adult dependent relatives under our immigration rules. And so, of course, if you're talking about somebody who is a child over the age of 18 or a parent or grandparent or a brother or a sister who is over the age of 18, then of course, that is what the UK government considers to be an adult dependent relative. And so, yes, if they have family members that are here who have either settled status or British citizenship or have pre-settled, which is leave to remain under our immigration rules, all these people can act as sponsors to basically invite or apply for their adult dependent relatives to join them here in the UK.
So what are the requirements under the immigration rules?
So when you look at the immigration rules specifically under the adult dependent relative of Appendix FM, it clearly shows two aspects or categories within which that person would have to meet or satisfy certain requirements to be able to make the application. So we have the relationship requirements, and then we have the financial requirement. And when it comes to the relationship requirement, they are looking to see that, of course, this person who is applying is either a parent, a grandparent, a child over the age of 18, or a brother or a sister over the age of 18. And so if they are such a family member and they can show that they are related in that way, then of course the next thing will be to say, well, is the family member they're coming to join either somebody who is settled or who has British citizenship or who has pre-settled or limited leave to remain under the EU settlement scheme. So of course, if they are able to show that their main sponsor has either of these three, then they will have to show that they either have uh, an illness or disability, and because of their age, they have this illness, which is an illness that requires long-term care or support in order for them to be able to do their everyday task or to do their everyday activities. And so, of course, if that is one of the requirements, they need to be able to show that this illness or this disability that they have, unfortunately, either that the care that they would require in their country is not there at all, or based on the financial support that they are receiving from their sponsor, it is still unaffordable. So there is no way they will be able to pay for it, even though their financial sponsor here in the UK is sponsoring them. And so that is the relationship requirement. And then when you come to the financial requirement, it is looking at whether this person who is applying would be able to be maintained in the UK by the sponsor. So if they are being invited to come by either a sibling or a child, then they should be able to show that this person is working or is earning enough to maintain themselves here in the UK, and also the person who is making the application to come into the UK. And it's also important that they are able to show that they can be accommodated. And so the accommodation that they have should be suitable accommodation. So if there's 4 people living in the house, usually the Housing Act of 1998 will state that a double room will be suitable for 2 people of the same sex or a couple. So if, for instance, they have a couple and then a child who is a boy and then a child who is a girl, and they are above the age of 10, then it means that they will need 3 rooms. And if the 3 rooms are occupied because that's a 3-bedroom house and this other person is coming into that house, they should be able to show that they have an extra room. And a living room is also considered to be an extra room for the purposes of the Housing Act. And so, of course, you can say that, yes, you live in a 3-bedroom house, but you also have a living room, which is an extra room where somebody could also sleep. So, yes, in saying that you have suitable accommodation, these things are also considered, and whoever is sponsoring the relative who is coming from abroad should be able to show that they have enough or they are working and they will be able to maintain themselves and the person who will be coming to join them here in the UK. So those are the 2 main requirements, but broken down into different parts. Yeah.
Okay. All right, ladies and gentlemen, you just joined us. This is the Legal Hour Show with BWF Solicitors, and with me is lawyer Eunice Achampong. She's a partner at BWF Solicitors. Today's topic is adult dependent relatives considering serious illness when applying for your relative to join you in the UK. I am your host, Kim Newton. If you'd like to contribute to the program, you can do so on all our social media handles, especially Facebook, on Heritage TV, or BWF Solicitors platform on Facebook. If you prefer to call us live in the studio, do so on 0744 8619 711. The number again is 0744 8619 711. Now, Lawyer Eunice, Kenny sent in a question and says, I was diagnosed with bowel and prostate cancer about a year ago, and I have undergone treatment and still have to undergo some more. I'm always in a lot of pain, and I cannot do the normal things I used to do without the support of my wife. My son, who lives in the UK, has said he will put in an application for us to join him. What are the chances of the application being successful?
Okay, so this is, I'm assuming, a parent who has undergone treatment for cancer. And of course, now his son is thinking, well, I need to try and care for them in some way. And not many sons are like that. So if you have a son who is caring and who would like to obviously come and take care of his parents, then that's wonderful. So very good thumbs up to the son. In terms of making an application under the adult dependent relative group, like I said, you should be able to show that you are a parent or a grandparent or a child or a brother or sister who is over the age of 18. When it comes specifically to parents, there's another requirement. They want to know whether the other parent is the parent of the sponsor here in the UK. So if, for instance, this person, Kemi, who is making the application, has remarried. So the person that he's currently with is not the child of, it's not the mother of the child here in the UK. Then unfortunately, they wouldn't even be able to make the application for the father. So that's another restriction in terms of parents. But if it were to be the case that this wife is the parent of the son who is here in the UK, then they can make an application for both parents to join them. But first of all, let's look at what it means to make this application. So he has bowel cancer, and I'm not a good specialist in the medical field, but from what I know of cancer, I know that cancer is treatable, and cancer is something that if it's not treated the way it's supposed to be, it will end up leading to the death of the person. When you look specifically at the immigration rules, it talks about the fact that it should be an illness where the person requires long-term help and support. It's not specifically stated what long-term care should look like. So usually in cases like this, you are looking to see if there has been any case laws or anything of that sort that will help support this parent. But where, for instance, the consultant or the doctor has said that once the treatment is over, the person will be fine, that will not be considered as long-term care or support. And so he wouldn't meet the requirement in that case. But if it were to be the case that maybe the treatments and the care that he needs will not help because of the fact that maybe the cancer has spread and it is all over the body, and unfortunately he's not going to make it, then of course this is not something that he will be looking to make an application under that adult dependent relative section, because usually in cases like this, they always diagnose that either this person has this lifespan and he cannot go past a year, or he will not be able to go past 6 months. They always give some sort of prognosis in terms of what their chances are in terms of the illness that they have. So, of course, if it is something that is very short term, then they may be looking to do like a visa application of that sort, or they may be looking to either go and see the father who is currently not well. So it has to be something that is seen to require long-term care and support. And based on what he has stated, and I don't have the medical evidence in front of me, I am only going to assume from my knowledge of cancer that usually once the treatment is over, the cancer leaves the body. And then, of course, if it is so, then he wouldn't need long term support, as he may well have put it, because his wife is there to provide him with the short term support, as it were. But if it were to be the case that he probably needed more support and it was going to be over a longer period of time, of course, he would then need medical evidence to support what long term support he will need. Yeah.
Okay. All right. Brilliant. Right. I've got another question. Yeah, this person wants to remain anonymous. It says, I have a disease called myasthenia gravis. I hope I pronounced it right, which affects the muscles and makes it difficult to do everyday activities as cooking, cleaning, and washing. As it is a long-term condition, I need support of my sister in the UK to be able to do the everyday activities. My sister is British, and so is her husband, and they have 2 children. I'm currently in my 30s, and the only person I have assisting me is a friend who lives about 10 minutes away from me. My sister supports me financially, but I have no other family members apart from my parents who are now frail. What do I need to put in such an application?
Wow. So this illness that this person has is saying that of course it affects her muscles, and because it affects the muscles in such a way, it's difficult for her to cook and clean and do normal things that normal people would do every day. And of course, if you're in your 30s and you have something like this, that means that it's going to be difficult for a long time. When when you have a family member who's going through something like this, you can only imagine. Yeah, because I do have family members abroad as well who have to have long-term care, and it's not easy. When I see what their parents and their siblings go through, it is one of the most heart-wrenching things to see. But you see how they do it with good faith, and you think, wow, these people are definitely strong. So in this case, you have somebody who is really struggling to do normal everyday things. And when it comes to normal activities being done for you on behalf of somebody else, then it means that you definitely need the care and support of somebody who is capable of helping you to do so. They haven't really said if this friend of theirs is willing to provide them that long-term support, because of course that one of the requirements is that either the care and support is available in the country that you are from, or it is not available, or it is not affordable whatsoever. So if this care or support that she's receiving from her friend is something that her friend can do for the next 10 years, because the friend hasn't really got a job, or the friend is somebody who is willing to help her out whenever the case is, then they are going to say, do you know what? Because the care and support you need is available in your country, there will be no need for you to come to the UK to be supported by your sister. But where the case is that your friend is working, she also has a family of her own. It could be that she's doing this on a what do you call it, 2 by 2 day kind of thing, because she can't commit to doing it every day, or maybe she comes once a week to come and help and support you. So of course we don't know the frequency of the support of this friend and whether that friend can provide long-term support. We don't know how should I say, bad this illness is, because of course some illnesses like this can basically deteriorate, and that would need the medical evidence. And so you need to be able to have a consultant or a doctor write a report to show how the illness is affecting your everyday life and whether it deteriorates with time. So maybe they need to state clearly that as the years go by, you will continue to deteriorate and you will not get better. Or maybe if it's something that you are able to even get better, it still wouldn't alleviate anything, because of course she stated clearly that it's a long-term illness. So of course, then it means that it's not treatable, it's not curable. So if it's not curable, then it's something that you have to live with over a long period of time. So you need medical evidence to state all of this, and the fact that as the years go by, if it's deteriorating, she will need more care and support, which maybe her friend will not be able to give, even if she lived 10 minutes away from her. And she needs somebody who can provide her with the everyday care and support, such as cooking and cleaning and the rest of it. And so, of course, things like this will need to be stated by a doctor who has more information or more knowledge in regards to how such an illness can be treated, or how to support someone with such an illness, and how it will deteriorate over the years. And then you also need to have some sort of idea as to the care that should be provided. So apart from the friend, they'll be looking to see, are there other people that can support her? And she said her parents are there, but unfortunately they're frail. So the only other person who can support her is her sister here in the UK. So if there are no other family members and it's just the parents, unfortunately, the parents can't do much. And so it's now on the sister here in the UK to help and support her. And so, of course, they will need to provide evidence that the parents are also frail and they cannot, in any way, shape, or form, support her in her day to day activities. So, of course, that needs to be provided in the form of a medical report or a letter, whatever the case is. And then, of course, when it comes to Master Oliver is coming here.
Oh wow!
So, yes. So when it comes to the fact that I know. So when it comes to the fact that somebody requires that support and the care, they need to be looking at what care it is that they can be provided. Is it care that can be provided through another person? And if the friend you are saying is not able to provide that long-term support, then of course, once they've gotten a letter from the friend to say that they cannot provide that support on a long-term basis, then that should be something that they will include in terms of the application. And then they also have to make sure that they are including the expenses that they have here, and the fact that if, for instance, they would not be able to afford any extra care where they are, then they should be able to show that even with the support they're receiving from the sponsor here in the UK, they still would not be able to afford the care from a third party, such as a care home or a medical nurse, or in Africa we have house helps, isn't it? So yes.
Sorry to break quickly, and if you need to go for a commercial break, and we'll be right back.
Okay.
Thank you. After the commercial break, we'll be right back.
Okay.
At BWF Solicitors, we take pride in our client service as a niche law practice. We are conscious of the demands of our clients. We always offer a friendly, listening ear and sympathetic attitude. We've worked with thousands of people all across the UK in all areas of personal legal services. We have received great feedback and reviews from our clients. We are located at 7 Sisters in Tottenham, on the 4th floor of the Anna House, right on top of the Victoria Line train station, with utmost convenience. We have a friendly office and provide all the refreshments necessary while you wait to see a lawyer. We are dedicated to our clients and have a successful record of serving our clients. Solicitors of England and Wales are of high quality and are bound by the highest professional standards. We are officers of the court and are bound by standards of integrity, competence, and conduct as part of our responsibility to uphold the rule of law. Our solicitors and lawyers care about your case and are committed to providing the best possible service to you in the most considerate and careful manner. We hold 2 Law Society quality marks. Law Society accreditation helps to demonstrate that we have attained the requisite standard in the area of law and have the requisite expertise. BWF Solicitors are here to help you with your legal services when you need us. Victon Estates provides professional and reliable service to landlords, investors, and tenants. Our mission is to ethically and honestly serve our clients. We won't make promises we cannot keep, rather. We present a clear picture of the reality we can offer. We are here to help you with long and short-term let, property management, cash buys for quick sales, stock repossession, and mortgage arrears. For all your property needs, look no further. Visit us at www.victonestates.co.uk or call us on 07448619711. Victon Estates, your property is our pride. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. I am your host, Vicky Newton. Today's show's topic is, how do I apply for an adult dependent relative with a critical health condition to join me in the UK? Laura Eunice was taking us through a question one of our viewers asked, and she's right back. Laura Eunice?
Hi. Sorry about that.
So take us, no problem, that's fine. That's fine. Thank you. So if you can continue from where you left off, please.
Okay, yes. So I was mentioning that, of course, if the friend is not able to provide this long-term care and support, they need to also put that in writing so that they can use that in terms of the application that they would be making. And of course, when it comes to other care systems in the country that they're in, of course, they should be able to show that maybe they may not be able to afford their extra care. So maybe they may not be able to go into a care home and then have someone look after them, or they may not be able to afford for somebody to come into the home and look after them. Whichever the case is, they need to be able to put that in writing. And so sometimes it helps when you put things into like a table. So maybe to get a domestic assistant to help you with your everyday activities, it might cost this amount. My rent and other expenses cost this amount. It costs this amount in the UK to look after somebody with my kind of illness. Or if she's saying that her sister can take care of her without having to get any extra support, then of course the only expenses will have to do with her eating and probably clothing and the basic necessities that she would need. And so she will need to make that comparison clear and put it in a sort of schedule or table form so that at least we know that this is how much she's given by her sister, but then it's still not enough to be able to provide her with the support that she needs. And because it's clearly a long term illness, which may deteriorate over time, she will need the care of her sister. And it might be the case that maybe the sister and her husband, as they say, are British, and so they will be able to afford giving her that care. So maybe it might be that the husband will work and the sister will have to be at home to care for her sister who is coming. Or it might be that she might have to do some part-time work. Her sister here in the UK might have to do some part-time work to be able to support her sister who is coming on a daily basis. So whatever the case is, then she needs to clearly state that in the application so that they know that she's got arrangements in place if she were to come in the UK. And of course, because of the support that her sister is giving her wherever she is, that will still not be sufficient to be able to afford the care and support that she needs in the country where she's from. That has to be done clearly because that's one of the requirements that they need. And then, as I said, you need to be able to show that she will be able to be maintained. So, if the sister is currently working and her husband are currently working, they can provide their 6 months bank statements and the 6 months pay slip and a letter from the employer, as well as a tenancy agreement if they are renting the property in which they live in, or they can provide their mortgage deed if they have bought their own property and want to show that they have suitable accommodation. And so all of this will need to be included in the application when it is being made. So yes, you need the medical letter which states the illness she has and how it would deteriorate over time and the support and care that she needs. And if she does have care and support where she is, the doctor should be able to state clearly that that care and support is clearly not enough and she is not likely to get any further support in the country that she's from because of A, B, and C. And if that is the case, she will need the care and support of her sister here in the UK. And then a letter from the friend who is also saying they cannot provide long term support, and medical letters to show that the parents are indeed frail and cannot support her. including the payslips and bank statements of her sister here in the UK and their tenancy agreement or mortgage deed. Yeah.
Okay. All right. Brilliant. Right. Yeah. Okay. Wow. This lady, her name is Lily. She said, my husband and I have a daughter back home who is in her 20s. And because of her disability, she's unable to even feed or dress herself. Every year, from husband and I take turns to visit and care for her as we have younger children in the UK. We recently got our indefinite leave to remain in the UK and would like to ask if we can bring her to join us in the UK.
So, in a case like this, where the parents are saying that we now have indefinite leave and we want to do something so that we can bring our child to come and join us here in the UK. Of course, they're saying that this child is over 20. And so we all know that by the time you pass the age of 18, you will clearly be known as an adult. Most countries will stipulate that in their law that any person who is above the age of 18 or is 18 and above is an adult. And I don't know what disability that this child has, but if it's a disability that makes this child unable to feed herself or to even clothe herself, then that's pretty serious. In situations like this, of course, as long as they can get medical evidence to support that, the fact that this disability is something that needs long-term care, that needs long-term support, then of course they can try and put in the application, but they need that medical report to state what care and support this child would need. They also need to have in there whether the care and support is available in the country where they are, and even if it's available, the fact that maybe the support of the parents may not be enough to afford it. And so if they are in a country where it is not affordable to get somebody to come and live on the premises to care for this child, then of course the parents will have to clearly show that maybe their earning capacity is not enough to pay for that extra care and support that that person will have to receive in the country where they're from, in addition to whatever financial support they are providing now.
Yeah.
It also states that they have younger children here in the UK, so I'm sure maybe one of them is not actually working to be able to look after the younger children who are here as well. So evidence such as the pay slips, and if the other parent is not working, then their bank statements will clearly show that these are what their earnings are and this is what they are able to afford in terms of any sort of extra care. And if they cannot afford it, then obviously that should be stated in that letter that they would be receiving from the doctor. And then in terms of also the fact that there are expenses that they pay for now and their finances will not go any further. So, for instance, they are having to pay for the daily essentials that daughter needs and extra activities or other things that the daughter needs. And so they cannot afford any more, or they cannot afford to do more than they are doing at the moment. Then, of course, that should all clearly be stated on the application and also be provided in some form of schedule, so they can do a breakdown of their expenses where their daughter lives, and then a breakdown of the cost they would incur if she were to come here in the UK. And if it's next to nothing, then it means that, of course, if the care is more expensive where their daughter is, then it would make sense for their daughter to join them here in the UK so that they can provide that care and support that the daughter needs. And I'm sure once they have done all of this, should make it a bit easier for the caseworker who will be looking at the application to then make a decision in their favor. And so, yes, the medical evidence is necessary, breakdown of um, the expenses where the child is and here in the UK, pay slips and bank statements and letter from the employer are all necessary. And then, of course, they will need to provide their tenancy agreement or some form of mortgage deed, depending on whether they are renting or supporting this child in that form. So, yes, they would need those sort of medical evidences and the other supporting documents to be able to make sure that they are putting it clearly to the caseworker who will be looking at this. And always, as always, please add the passports and the evidence that show the relationship. So if it's a birth certificate, definitely include the birth certificate to show that this is your child. And if you can provide medical evidence in the form of a DNA, if you haven't got the necessary evidence, then you might as well provide evidence in the form of DNA to show the relationship as well.
Okay. The second part of the question is, if my application is refused, will I have the chance to appeal, and what would be my success rate?
So cases like this will always need to come with the, should I say, the mindset that there is always family life. And when we look at our human rights and the fact that we have a right to respect for private life and family life under Article 8. Of course, if the Home Office also have to consider these things when they are looking at applications, then they need to be able to consider the fact that this is a case where parents are having to go back and forth to look after their child. And in a way, you could also argue that there are exceptional circumstances because, of course, this child has this rare disability where they can't even feed themselves or clothe themselves. And so, if that is the case, then it means that it's necessary or it's important that the parents are able to have the child here rather than constantly go back and forth to be able to care for this child. And so it means that as much as possible, the evidence of their passports showing them going in and out as frequently as how many times a year, I don't know, but they should be able to put in an appeal because, of course, this warrants human rights, and we all know from our nationality and asylum and immigration act that, of course, this is an area where you will be afforded a right of appeal. And if you can clearly show that your human rights are being infringed on, then this is something that they would automatically grant a right of appeal to. And once you are able to appeal within 28 days, because such applications are done outside of the UK, once you are able to issue or lodge an appeal within 28 days, then of course the court will let you have your day in court. So most of the time, we always say it's always better to have an oral hearing rather than a paper hearing, because when things are on the paper, as much as you may think that the paper explains everything, maybe there are certain things that you would mention in court that will not necessarily be on the documents that you have sent, and it gives the judge a better view or a better understanding of your situation or your circumstances in order for them to be able to make precise or a decision in your case. And so it's always better in certain cases to always have an oral hearing rather than just a paper hearing where the judge will not have a full view of your illness. They probably don't even know how it affects you on a day-to-day basis. And so somebody being present and being able to state this is what happens to me is almost saying that this is how I want you to perceive it rather than just looking at the paper to see how it is described on paper. So, in cases like this, once you have your day in court, you are able to better explain the situation, and then the medical evidence will support you, including the other evidences that you have provided in your application. And that way, once the judge has a full view of everything that needs to be looked at, then they can make a decision. And cases like this, of course, like I said, there are cases where they also consider exceptional circumstances. And so it might be the case that even the Home Office themselves will end up withdrawing the case rather than going to court. So once you have presented all of these things, they can look at it and then make a favorable decision on your behalf.
Oh, okay. Now, so do the applicants have to put in place have a health insurance throughout their stay in the country?
Not necessarily. So they should be able to show that their sponsor here in the UK will be able to maintain them without recourse to public funds. So if the sponsor here is working and they've clearly been able to show that their income is able to meet their expenses and also maintain themselves and whoever is coming, then they don't need to show that they have some sort of medical insurance in place to cover the applicant who is coming. So usually I would say that once they've made their calculations, so if they don't need any extra assistant to be in the house to provide the care, then the only expense will be the basic necessities such as food, clothing, those essentials that we need on a day-to-day basis. Those are the main things that will probably cost. But apart from that, if the person needs medication and the sponsor here in the UK is able to afford the medication without recourse to public funds, then that should be fine. Usually in these applications, you are being granted an indefinite leave to enter the UK if the sponsor is British or has indefinite leave, or if the person has limited leave to remain under the EU settlement scheme, then they will grant the applicant 5 years limited leave to enter the UK. But even then, you would you would say that somebody who has limited leave will be the one applying for IHS as well. So usually in cases like this, if they have limited leave, then it means they'll be paying for the IHS. If they don't have limited leave and the sponsor here in the UK has indefinite leave or has British citizenship, they would not be paying for the IHS because, of course, the IHS is for those that will be coming into the UK for a limited period of time, whereas those who are coming indefinitely do not have to pay any IHS whatsoever. So, in cases like that, of course, there will be able to access the NHS. But when we talk about public funds, we're talking about things like um, disability allowance or personal independent payments, those sort of benefits. So they don't want that adult dependent relative to be relying on benefits as long as they are here. Even if they are here for an indefinite period, they would have to sign an undertaking that this sponsor will not be applying for benefits within 5 years of them coming to the UK. So, yes, they will have access to the NHS, but not to public funds. Yes.
All right. So thanks for the clarification. Right. I just want you to have a look at the BWF Facebook page if there are any further questions, because I
Yes.
think I'm done with mine. Yeah.
Oh, okay. There are no questions on here, so it's just those that are saying thank you and
All right.
very educational. Yes,
Okay.
so
All
there are
right.
no
Great.
further
So
questions.
let me take the opportunity to thank all those people who joined us today. Thank you for staying tuned in throughout the show. I would like to acknowledge just a few people who stayed with us through the show on our social media handles. Please forgive me if I'm not able to mention your name because there are a lot of you. Jemima Kawu Gwewutade from the BWF Solicitors platform. Louisa Asante, as usual. Thank you so much. Ezekiel Johnson, we have Jalade Ayo Kemi. Thank you so much. Because of time, I cannot mention all your names, but we very much appreciate, you joining us, staying with us throughout the show. All those who sent us questions, thank you too. Laura Eunice, before you give us your final words, I would also like to pass on this information. BWF Solicitors also have a community and the law program on Facebook every Saturday, 4 p.m. Today's topic is, do you know that your child can still join you in the UK if you have limited leave to remain? The topic again is, do you know that your child can still join you in the UK if you have limited leave to remain? This will be discussed today at 4 p.m. on BWF Solicitors Facebook page with lawyer Charles Asma and your host, Mr. Frimpong. So please do join them at 4 o'clock and let's hear what they have to tell us to educate us. So that is the lawyer Eunice. If you could please leave your details. There are some people asking for your details. Leave your details and your last words, then we'll just round up quickly and the show.
Okay, thank you, Vicky. So, yes, as we've been discussing today, I know that we've looked at adult dependent relatives and how they can make applications to come into the UK if they have any serious or critical illnesses or disability. So I know there will be people who will be saying, can I not bring them any other way if they are not ill or they do not need long-term care and support? Of course, if you have all those questions and inquiries that you would like to make, please do not hesitate to contact us at BWF Solicitors. Our office number is 0208 493 7340. So it's 0208 493 7340. My personal number is 075 35 813910. So 075 35 813910. And we are situated in London. Our office address is the fourth floor of Anna House, 214 to 218 Tottenham High Road. And our postcode is N15 4NP. So it's N154NP. So yes, if you would like to contact us, please do. And we hope to see you same time again next week.
Thank you, Lawyer Eunice. Ladies and gentlemen, all too soon we've come to the end of the show, but I believe that you've learned so much. You've, picked up some few points. If anybody you feel this program will be of benefit to, I will advise you share this program to them. We can have the recorded version on all our social media handles, Facebook, YouTube. So you can go back there, get the link, and share to all your friends, colleagues, and loved ones. Thank you so much. I also would like to acknowledge our sponsors, BWF Solicitors, Victim Estates Limited, and Eagle Heights International School. Without your support, we will not be able to come your way every Saturday. So on that note, take very good care of yourselves, and we hope to see you next Saturday. Bye-bye.
Based in London, we are a dynamic award-winning firm specializing in a range of legal services, including family law, matrimonial law, immigration, dispute resolution, Ghanaian customary and family law. At BWF, our solicitors are pleased to offer high-quality legal representation at competitive rates. Our senior partner, Bernardo Wusu, has over 29 years' experience as a lawyer in the UK. BWF Solicitors provide independent and practical legal assistance for all kinds of family matters, such as childcare, contested and uncontested divorce, and injunctions for domestic violence. Our childcare and family team appreciate the issues facing you in this difficult time, which is why we offer confidential advice delivered in a sensitive manner. Our senior partner is an accredited member of the Law Society Family Law Accreditation Panel, which guarantees expert representation in all family and matrimonial cases. Are you seeking advice on immigration-related matters? At BWF Solicitors, our immigration team are experts in dealing with everything from general immigration to complex immigration work permits, arranging student visas, as well as entry clearance visas, family visas, and appeals. Our senior partner is an accredited member of the Law Society Immigration Accreditation Panel, which guarantees expert representation. Our office is open from 9:30 a.m. to 6 p.m., Monday to Friday, and on Saturdays by appointment only from 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. We are located at 4th floor Anna House, 214 to 218 Tottenham High Road, London, N15 4NP, just a short walk from Seven Sisters Underground. Our senior partner, Bernardo Wusu, is also a qualified barrister and a member of the Ghana Bar Association. He has acted as an expert in court cases involving aspects of Ghanaian law. He has also advised local authorities, the official solicitor's office, and other solicitors on the intricacies of Ghanaian law, and is a regular contributor on the radio and TV on matters concerning Ghanaian law. Victon Estates provides professional and reliable service to landlords, investors, and tenants. Our mission is to ethically and honestly serve our clients. We won't make promises we cannot keep, rather. We present a clear picture of the reality we can offer. We are here to help you with long and short-term let, property management, cash buys for quick sales, stock repossession, and mortgage arrears. For all your property needs, look no further. Visit us at www.victonestates.co.uk or call us on 07448619711. Victon Estates, your property is our pride.